Remember words by reading essays. Rising tides. Decisions in the eye of the storm.
Good day. Everyone,
Today,
we are going to explore a thought-provoking article titled Rising Tides, Decisions in the Eye of the Storm. This piece takes us on a journey through the challenges faced by a young manager. And it's filled with valuable vocabulary and phrases that we will focus on. We'll start by listening to the full article first. So sit back and enjoy.
Ethan was a young manager at a large tech company, facing market turbulence. He knew that any delay in the new product launch posed a danger to the company. Even worse, the external competitive environment was profoundly inimical to their success, and one misstep could plunge the team into chaos. His parents pinned high hopes on him, expecting both high profits and prestige. But during negotiations with partners, Ethan remained cagey about revealing company secrets or personal matters. Some team members were astonished, often gasping at his strategic insight, while others felt disillusioned with the ambitious plan, doubting whether it could succeed. In meetings, people constantly yammered about market risks, and Ethan himself sometimes wavered before making decisions, weighing costs and potential consequences. With limited incentives, he had little incentive to take on extra projects, especially those that seemed ineffective, which were not much use for improving overall performance. Colleagues were touchy about sensitive issues, and when Ethan made promises about project timelines, he was often ambiguous about them. This sometimes caused the team to see that his attitude. Suppliers were coy about their commitments, leaving him frustrated. The complexity of the external environment was unfathomable to him, and recent policy changes clearly boded ill for the company. Government regulations had imposed tight controls on imported components, further straining production schedules. Yet, Ethan did not give up. He knew that if the team could unite, even this storm could be an opportunity. He reminded himself that the current crisis posed an unprecedented challenge to the team, and every decision carried significant consequences. Only by staying calm amidst the rising tides could he lead his team against the current and toward success.
now,
We will listen to the article again. But this time, I will guide you through some key vocabulary and phrases. As we listen, I'll highlight important expressions that will help you better understand the text. Please feel free to take notes and ask any questions along the way.
Ethan was a young manager at a large tech company, facing market turbulence. He knew that any delay in the new product launch posed a danger to the company.
The phrase posed a danger to means to create a situation that could lead to harm or risk. In the article, it refers to the potential problems that could arise from delaying the product launch, which could threaten the company's success.
So, it's like saying something is dangerous or risky.
Exactly. It means there's a threat or a possibility of something bad happening because of it.
can we use this in other situations?
Yes, absolutely. For example, the heavy rain posed a danger to the hikers. It's used whenever something presents a potential risk.
Even worse, the external competitive environment was profoundly inimical to their success, and one misstep could plunge the team into chaos.
The phrase was profoundly inimical to means that something was very harmful or opposed to something else. In the article, it describes how the external competitive environment was strongly against the company's success, creating a major obstacle.
So it's like saying something is very bad for the company.
Yes, exactly. It means that the external forces were not just bad, but deeply harmful to the company's chances of success.
Can we use inimical for other things too?
Yes,
We can.
for example, the new policy was inimical to the workers' rights, meaning it was harmful or opposed to their interests.
His parents pinned high hopes on him, expecting both high profits and prestige.
The phrase pinned high hopes on means that someone has very high expectations or believes strongly that something will succeed. In the article, Ethan's parents expected great success from him, believing he would bring in both profit and prestige.
So it's like saying they really believed in him.
Exactly. It shows that they had strong faith that he would succeed and meet their expectations.
Can we use it for other situations?
Yes. For example, the coach pinned high hopes on the team's performance, meaning the coach expected a lot from the team.
But during negotiations with partners, Ethan remained cagey about revealing company secrets or personal matters.
The phrase cagey about means to be secretive or unwilling to share information. In the article, Ethan was cagey about revealing company secrets, meaning he was careful not to disclose sensitive details during negotiations.
So, it's like when someone doesn't want to talk openly.
Exactly. It's used when someone is avoiding giving clear answers or being too open about something.
Can it be used for other things? Like people's feelings?
Yes. You can say, she was cagey about her plans, meaning she didn't want to share her plans with others.
Some team members were astonished, often gasping at his strategic insight.
The phrase gasping it means to react with surprise or astonishment, often by taking a quick breath. In the article, some team members were gasping at his strategic insight, meaning they were amazed by Ethan's smart decisions.
So, it's like when something surprises you so much. You can't believe it.
Exactly. It shows that the reaction is one of shock or awe.
Can we use gasping at for things other than people's reactions?
Yes. You can. For example, they were gasping at the breathtaking view, meaning they were in awe of what they saw.
While others felt disillusioned with the ambitious plan, doubting whether it could succeed.
The phrase felt disillusioned with means to lose hope or become disappointed when reality does not meet expectations. In the article, some team members felt disillusioned with the ambitious plan, meaning they no longer believed in its success.
So, it's when you feel let down because things aren't as good as you thought.
Exactly. It's that sense of disappointment when something doesn't live up to your hopes.
Can we use disillusion for personal feelings?
Yes. For example, she felt disillusioned with her job, meaning she became disappointed with it after a while.
In meetings, people constantly yammered about market risks.
The phrase yammered about means to talk continuously and often in an annoying or noisy way. In the article, people yammered about market risks, meaning they kept talking about the risks, perhaps without getting to the point.
So, it's like when people talk a lot but don't say much.
Exactly. It suggests a lot of chatter without real substance.
Can we use yammered for other situations?
Yes. For example, the kids yammered about their favorite cartoons, meaning they kept talking nonstop about it.
And Ethan himself sometimes wavered before making decisions, weighing costs and potential consequences.
The word wavered means to be unsure or to hesitate between different choices. In the article, Ethan wavered before making decisions, meaning he sometimes hesitated or was uncertain about the right choice.
So, it's like when you can't decide what to do.
Exactly. It shows a moment of doubt or indecision.
Can wavered be used for emotions too?
Yes. For example, she wavered between feeling happy and sad, meaning she was unsure of how to feel.
with limited incentives. He had little incentive to take on extra projects.
The phrase had little incentive to means there was not enough motivation or reason to do something. In the article, Ethan had little incentive to take on extra projects, meaning he didn't see any benefit or reward in doing more work.
So, it's like when you don't feel motivated to do something because there's no reward.
Exactly. If there's no reason or reward for doing something, you have little incentive to do it.
Can we use incentive for other situations?
Yes. For example, she had little incentive to help because she wasn't getting paid, meaning she didn't feel motivated to do the work.
Especially those that seemed ineffective, which were not much use for improving overall performance.
The phrase "were not much use" for means something was not helpful or useful in a particular situation. In the article, Ethan thought extra projects were not much use for improving overall performance, meaning they wouldn't help the company succeed.
So, it's like when something doesn't really help or benefit you.
Exactly. It means the thing didn't provide enough value to make it worth doing.
Can we use it for personal tasks too?
Yes. For example, these extra meetings were not much use for finishing the project, meaning they didn't help get the work done.
Colleagues were touchy about sensitive issues.
The phrase "we're touchy about" means to be easily upset or sensitive about something. In the article, colleagues were touchy about sensitive issues, meaning they reacted strongly or defensively when certain topics were brought up.
So, it's when people get upset easily over certain subjects.
Exactly. It shows that the topic makes them uncomfortable or defensive.
Can we use touchy for feelings too?
Yes. For example, he was touchy about criticism, meaning he didn't handle criticism well and got upset easily.
And when Ethan made promises about project timelines, he was often ambiguous about them.
The phrase "was ambiguous about" means being unclear or vague about something. In the article, Ethan was ambiguous about project timelines, meaning he didn't provide a clear or definite answer about when things would be finished.
So, it's like when you don't give a clear response or avoid being specific.
Exactly. It means leaving things uncertain or open to interpretation.
Can we use ambiguous for other things? Like instructions.
Yes. For example, the teacher's instructions were ambiguous, meaning they weren't clear, and students weren't sure what to do.
This sometimes caused a team to see that his attitude.
The phrase "see that" means to be very angry or frustrated, but without expressing it openly. In the article, the team seethed at his attitude, meaning they were angry with Ethan's behavior, but they didn't show it directly.
So, it's like when you're angry but don't say anything.
Exactly. It's a quiet, internal kind of anger.
Can we use seethe for other emotions?
Yes. For example, she seethed at the unfair decision, meaning she was quietly angry about it.
Suppliers were coy about their commitments, leaving him frustrated.
The phrase "were coy about" means to be reluctant or unwilling to reveal information, often in a secretive or playful way. In the article, suppliers were coy about their commitments, meaning they were hesitant or avoided giving clear answers about what they would deliver.
So, it's like when someone doesn't want to share something important.
Exactly. It means they're being secretive or not fully honest.
Can we use coy for people in general?
Yes. For example, she was coy about her plans for the weekend, meaning she didn't want to say much about what she was doing.
The complexity of the external environment was unfathomable to him.
The phrase unfathomable to means something that is impossible to understand or grasp. In the article, the complexity of the external environment was unfathomable to him, meaning Ethan couldn't fully understand or make sense of the situation.
So, it's when something is too difficult to figure out.
Exactly. It suggests that it's beyond comprehension or too complicated.
Can we use unfathomable for feelings too?
Yes. For example, her reaction was unfathomable, meaning it was impossible to understand how she felt.
And recent policy changes clearly boded ill for the company.
The phrase boded ill for means to indicate that something bad is likely to happen in the future. In the article, recent policy changes boded ill for the company, meaning they were a sign that things could go wrong for the company.
So, it's like a warning that something bad is coming.
Exactly. It suggests that the future looks negative or troubling.
Can we use bode for positive situations too?
Yes. For example, the sunny weather boded well for the picnic, meaning it was a good sign for the event.
Government regulations had imposed tight controls on imported components, further straining production schedules.
The phrase impose tight controls on means to enforce strict rules or limitations. In the article, government regulations impose tight controls on imported components, meaning the government set very strict rules about bringing in materials from other countries.
So, it's like when someone limits or restricts something a lot.
Exactly. It means setting strong boundaries or restrictions.
Can we use this for other situations? Like personal rules.
Yes. For example, the teacher imposed tight controls on the use of phones in class, meaning the teacher set strict rules about phone use.
Yet, Ethan did not give up. He knew that if the team could unite, even this storm could be an opportunity. He reminded himself that the current crisis posed an unprecedented challenge to the team.
The phrase posed an unprecedented challenge to means to present a completely new and difficult problem. In the article, the current crisis posed an unprecedented challenge to the team, meaning it was a challenge that had never been faced before.
So, it's like when something is so difficult. It's the first time anyone has ever dealt with it.
Exactly. It's something totally new and much harder than anything before.
Can we use unprecedented for other things? Like events.
Yes. For example, the storm posed an unprecedented challenge to the city, meaning it was a storm unlike any other the city had experienced.
And every decision carried significant consequences. Only by staying calm amidst the rising tides could he lead his team against the current and toward success.
Let's listen to the article one more time, without interruptions. This will allow you to appreciate the flow of the story and reinforce your understanding of the vocabulary and phrases we've discussed. I encourage you to pay close attention to how the words are used in context.
Ethan was a young manager at a large tech company, facing market turbulence. He knew that any delay in the new product launch posed a danger to the company. Even worse, the external competitive environment was profoundly inimical to their success, and one misstep could plunge the team into chaos. His parents pinned high hopes on him, expecting both high profits and prestige. But during negotiations with partners, Ethan remained cagey about revealing company secrets or personal matters. Some team members were astonished, often gasping at his strategic insight, while others felt disillusioned with the ambitious plan, doubting whether it could succeed. In meetings, people constantly yammered about market risks, And Ethan himself sometimes wavered before making decisions, weighing costs and potential consequences. With limited incentives, he had little incentive to take on extra projects, especially those that seemed ineffective, which were not much use for improving overall performance. Colleagues were touchy about sensitive issues, and when Ethan made promises about project timelines, he was often ambiguous about them. This sometimes caused the team to see that his attitude. Suppliers were coy about their commitments, leaving him frustrated. The complexity of the external environment was unfathomable to him, and recent policy changes clearly boded ill for the company. Government regulations had imposed tight controls on imported components, further straining production schedules. Yet, Ethan did not give up. He knew that if the team could unite, even this storm could be an opportunity. He reminded himself that the current crisis posed an unprecedented challenge to the team, and every decision carried significant consequences. Only by staying calm amidst the rising tides could he lead his team against the current and toward success.
That brings us to the end of today's lesson. I hope you now have a deeper understanding of the vocabulary and phrases from Rising Tides, Decisions in the Eye of the Storm. If you have any final questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next class. Thank you for your attention, and have a great day ahead.